Nominate the youth sports volunteer that you know for the Hercules Hero of the Week. Submit your nomination at kslsports.com/contest and listen every Thursday afternoon to JJ and Alex for the winner. Help us celebrate the efforts of those volunteers making an impact with the Hercules Hero of the Week. Sponsored by Hercules First Federal Credit Union and Beehive Meals. All right, PK, anybody who's listened to this show for the last couple decades knows one of your favorite things to do is identify the biggest. This is it. And you have even pled guilty to being the prisoner of the moment. But I don't know that you need to plead guilty. You might actually have one of those moments right in front of you right now.
Yeah, I don't think that BYU's ever had a bigger we got to show them moment than right now. They've been just universally respected, not just in the immediacy, but going back to last year. And people are dismissing them every which way. Like, Sitake's not even a finalist for Coach of the Year. Bachmeier wasn't a finalist for Freshman of the Year. And you got guys who played in 5 games last year. They're above you.
You're on the outside looking into the playoff picture when you got a really strong argument 2 years in a row.
Right.
I mean, if you got in one year and you didn't the other, there's always going to be close calls. There's going to be 2 or 3 close calls this year, it seems. Unless the committee gets off the hook because Alabama and BYU both win and have to be in.
And so they're basing the fact that you are out of the playoff picture on you did not look good against Texas Tech. And not only, and that's true, you didn't look good against Texas Tech, but not your wins. You didn't. The wins are fine. Good for you. Whoop-de-doo. Way to go. Who cares? You didn't look good against Texas Tech. Well, as it were, when have they ever had, they've had disrespect along the way, but when have they ever had a chance to shut that up? You didn't look good against Texas Tech. Well, guess who they're playing tomorrow? The very team. That never happens.
And the stakes are so high with a chance to get in the playoff. I mean, I could sit here and list for you other games in BYU history because I love that as much as you love the biggest moment. But the thing about it is these moments feel like it's not just the game. You can really pivot the way people look at you, and you can change the narrative. But the problem with those other wins is none of them change the narrative. Because here they sit with the narrative. Yeah, you're not really good enough to hang with the big boys. That's been the overarching story for however many decades you've been following college football here.
When did story come take the place of a narrative?
Change the story? Yeah, I don't know.
Why do we have to sound like we're so elite?
I don't know. So now you have a chance to change the storyline and play yourself for the way into a playoff. And then I suppose that then we'll be able to double down on this topic in 2 weeks and say, hey, this is the biggest opportunity.
No, I don't think it is.
Oh, if you win in a playoff and prove you're there, if you're in the playoff and you get smoked, see, they shouldn't have been here.
Right, and that look at the pain and suffering that Indiana is facing this year is unbearable. That's ridiculous. I dismiss that completely. Not at all. Nope. The system allows you to get back in by doing what you did. Nope. I don't. What happened to Indiana? The shame of them. They just couldn't overcome it, except they have. So, no, I don't buy that at all.
Yeah, they're undefeated in the Big Ten, so they get opportunities. Their big moment on the stage was Oregon, and they delivered and won that game handily.
Right, but they were already there. That's not the point. You're acting like that they'll go under a hole, under a rock, if they lose that game 2 weeks from now, whenever. No, I disagree completely. No. This is you. All the things that people said you couldn't do, you did do. I can argue whatever happens after that is gravy. No. I know you like to do that. Well, then the next game is bigger, blah, blah, blah. I don't buy it.
I think the next game would be huge.
It certainly would be, but it's not bigger than what tomorrow is. Every game they play from now on is gigantic, yeah. But this is the one that everybody said you couldn't do it. You can't go back, and if they lose to, I don't even know who they would play, but if they lose to that one, nobody could say, well, wait a second here. You couldn't do it. Well, yeah, you said we couldn't do it, and we did do it.
They wouldn't put, like BYU 8 and Texas Tech 9 or vice versa and make them play again, would they?
No.
A third meeting?
No, I wouldn't think so. But, I mean, I'm not worried about that. I'm worried about BYU
Can
showing
they actually win it
tomorrow. Yeah. Nobody, when you say nobody believes in them, there's not a single prognosticator, not Joe on the street because they don't really matter, anybody who has a platform, anybody who has a voice, universally, they're picking Tech. And it's not only that, it has been this way for 3-4 weeks because we had a really good idea that this was going to happen. And so we've been talking about it, and those platform people, have been talking about it, at least to the point of being aware that this was going to happen. I mean, that was the whole thing. Well, why worry about BYU? They have an opportunity to play themselves into it. So put up or shut up. And they're going to shut up, and we're going to say, see, we told you. No, nothing has come to pass because whoever they play 2 weeks from now, that's it. That's just a one-shot deal, win or lose, when you go all.
I think the thing you're undervaluing here is that the overarching story is then all the national folks looking, you don't belong. You as a conference don't belong, and you as an individual school don't belong.
Nope.
And if they get to the playoff with a win over Texas Tech, then they have a chance to change that story. We do belong. We took down fill in the blank school,
change the story,
whoever it is.
And even if they lose in the next round, because then you're worried about next year already. Well, the Sun Devils were picked way high at the start of the season. Why? Because of what they did last year and the game that they had against Texas. Now, they didn't live up to it, injuries, whatever. Maybe they weren't good enough even if they didn't have the injuries. I don't know. But they were picked way higher than they've ever been. So, no, it's not about 2 weeks from now. It's all about tomorrow. Everything boils down to tomorrow. Are you legitimate or not? This is the ultimate legitimate test, unlike any test they've ever had. Ever.
Move over Michigan, Miami, and Kansas State. And
Michigan is 6'5" team, blah, blah, blah. Nobody gave them
on their third quarterback.
They changed the whole system after that. Yeah. And so with that in mind, this is it, and we've been talking about it for weeks. You've had more lead up to this game than any BYU game in history, and it was about the situation with the Super Bowl. You get 2 weeks. We've had more than 2 weeks on this one.
We've had a month.
Yeah.
We've had a full month.
And here is your chance. This is your ultimate chance to silence everybody. STFU forever. Shut the fetch up. You said we couldn't do it, and we didn't. No, the goalposts don't move after this game. The goalposts come down after this game.
Storm in the field, huh?
That's it. There's no more goalposts. No. Tech
it's all 2-point conversions now. Sorry, kickers.
They've got what they wanted. They've got what they needed, and away you go. Yeah, absolutely. That's where we're at with this. This is the ultimate shut up or put up test. That's just the way it boils down. There's nothing more you can say about it. I won't entertain anything else. I will, but then I'll strip you of your dignity and just stomp you. And that's not just you. It's everybody. There's nothing. They've never had an opportunity like they've had now because everything today is bigger than anything that was. And in 20 years from now, everything then is probably going to be bigger than it is now. We'll see. We'll see about that. But that's the way I see it. And I believe that's the correct way to see it. I think that's the only way to see it.
No, it's not the only way to see it.
Oh, most definitely is. I can provide all sorts of evidence and ammunition. No, Indiana got by. They lost. They were still picked high. The Devils, they lost, and they were still picked high. Yeah, absolutely. And Tech right now is considered a top 5 team. I can argue if you win this game, this might be the best win you've ever had.
This versus Miami.
Miami was
the king.
0-0 at that time. The record was 0-0. So
yes.
Yeah. So who knew how good they were? That was just expectation.
But they delivered. They delivered in the expectation. They were a machine in that era.
No, and then we're talking about that day. We're not talking about that era. We're talking about that day. Texas Tech, because Texas Tech has no error. So if you're going to go error, then beating Texas Tech, BFD, because they've got no error. They've won 8 games twice in 10 years, excluding this year. And once was last year. They've got no error. They had 4 or 5 losing seasons from 2016 to 2021. So they've got no error. So once you introduce error, sorry to do this to you, but that doesn't fly. Because Tech has no error.
It completely flies. I can't believe you're dismissing the Miami win.
I'm not. I'm saying this one is bigger. I appreciate you trying to change the argument because when you're floundering, that's what you should do. But no, this is Texas Tech. I'm not depreciating anything. I've already said anything then is not as big as now.
I think the playoff putting it at stake is what makes it
Obviously,
bigger than now.
BYU could have got beat 50-0 against Miami and still won the WAC. And they would have celebrated. Yep. They would have hoisted the trophy. Everybody would have been fired up. It wouldn't have mattered.
They literally did that, I think, the very next year.
Right. They went 0-3 to start. Yeah. So here, it's all – there's no shut up or put up test like they've ever had tomorrow at 10 o'clock our time. This is going to be beautiful. This is what you dream of. Everybody, and I can say everybody, underscored as many times as you want, that is going to pick BYU to beat Texas Tech. Literally no one outside of BYU fans. Everybody with a platform.
Tech.
What more do you want? And me included. You can come in and shove it in my face.
Me included. Yak included. Yak, you picking BYU?
Nope.
I can't.
Yeah.
I want to. I want them to win.
There's the gut versus the head, and the head says Tech wins.
I have to. You have to, and you will too. You watch football probably more than I do, and you there's no way you could pick.
I'm not. No,
Tech.
There's no way I can pick against Tech.
Right.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm not.
You try and find a weakness with Tech, you can't really find it outside of the fact that they commit a few too many penalties. That's really it. They are good against the run, good against the pass. They run it well, they pass it well. Like, they've got everything.
Tear down the banner. They still don't even have the national championship banner anymore. Put Tech December 6th.
You're not going to do that.
Right in the end zone.
Texas Tech, December 6th, 2025.
Hey, we don't look good. I got your Italian salute here. We don't look good.
Well, they put the national championship thing up on the side of the press box up there.
Put this one.
They can see it right next to it.
Big 12 champions. Isn't that better than WAC champions, PC2A champions, Mountain West champions, everything? Yes. This will be the ultimate championship. Oh, man.
PC2A champions, that was pretty old school and random.
Well, whatever they were before the WAC.
Skyline.
They beat Skyline High. Whoop-de-doo. DuPay didn't have a good team that year, and they beat Skyline.
DuPay was probably playing for BYU in that
Yeah, probably was.
Well, his father was coaching.
Okay,
they got a slew. Joe is coaching now.
Joe is, yes.
Saw him at Corner Canyon last year. Talked to him. He was out there recruiting. So, yeah, this is everything, man. This is the vamos.
Thank you, Brian. All right, DJ PK, stay with us. David Locke joins us next. The Jazz have won 3 out of 4. Can they keep it going? We will talk with David coming up. Stay with us.
This is Jake Scott and Ben Anderson.
The fact that Notre Dame is even ranked above BYU now is ludicrous. The other 2 lost teams, I guess you could make an argument. The other teams ahead of the Cougs are Oklahoma and Alabama.
What everyone has to understand is the college football playoff is functioning exactly how it's supposed to. It was designed specifically to eliminate the Big 12 getting 25% of the shares of the college football playoff when they only had 4 teams and TCU makes it.
Yep.
They didn't want that. 25% going to a Big 12 school? No, so what we're going to do is we're going to expand it to 12 and say, wow, isn't that great? There's more opportunities. No, you get 1/12 of the pie now, as opposed to 25%. That's the design. This is functioning exactly how it's supposed to.
It is.
And now, are there victims? Yeah, the Big 12, the ACC, G5 schools. Yeah, all victims.
Catch Jake and Ben weekdays from 10 to noon on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
DJ PK, it's 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. It is time to give away some tickets. The Utah Mammoth are hosting the 2-time defending Stanley Cup champions, the Florida Panthers, at the Delta Center, December 10th. We got a pair of tickets to watch that game. Caller 12 right now, 801-575-ZONE. 801-575-ZONE. You win a pair of tickets to watch the Utah Mammoth take on the Florida Panthers at the Delta Center next Wednesday. Good luck. Start calling. DJ PK and David Locke joins us now, radio voice of the Utah Jazz. David, good morning.
A Friday morning from New York City, getting to talk to the greatest DJ and PK, completing a fabulous week, coming off a win, and just being around the artistry of the two of you and inspiration. I'll go to the Met today. I will head over to the Rockefeller. I will go to the Guggenheim. None of them will have artists to the level of the two of you.
You lay it on so thick every week when you come on. It really is unbelievable.
The Guggenheim.
That's what I thought, too, the Guggenheim.
I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, it's a museum.
Ooh, museum.
David, watching that Nets game in the first half, I'm really curious what the young guys know and what they don't know. There were so many possessions, it felt like what you have referred to on multiple times is my turn basketball, my turn to get a shot. There were either 0 or 1 passes. There were guys dribbling, not going anywhere. I mean, I'm paid to watch the game, so I'm going to sit there and watch it. But my gosh, if Jazz fans got up and either turned it off or turned the channel or at least walked out of the room to clear their head, I don't blame them. In the fourth quarter, though, the ball moved, and they scored 42 points. At what point does it click that there's a way they need to play? And when they play that way, things will go pretty well.
Well, I think there's a little more to it here than that.
Okay.
So the Jazz came out, and the way the Nets usually play is that the Nets play their bigs very high on the pick and roll. And so with Filipowski starting, the Jazz open the game playing a high pick and roll game, which they don't usually play, and getting Filipowski the ball in the pocket. And then Kyle was going to make a decision out of that. And if you recall, in those first few plays, the Jazz got a baseline dunk for Ace Bailey, and they got a baseline dunk for Lauri Markkanen. And at that point, Jordi Fernandez abandoned the defense that he usually plays. And so there was suddenly the entire game plan the Jazz had didn't fit for what the Nets were doing anymore. And so the recognition at that point is, okay, they're now switching everything 1 through 5, and we've got to go find, the original reaction was, okay, we got to go find the matchup. We got to go find the spot where we're trying to exploit people. And that slowed them down, got them a little out of kilter, got them a little, stagnant as you're talking about. But there was a reason. And as the game went on, then they went over and kind of abused Yegor and went after specific matchups and got to them a little quicker and recognized the personnel of who they were trying to go find. And I just think it takes maybe a younger team longer, but it does take some time for that to happen in a game. And so that's truly what happened. That's kind of the progression of what happened last night.
Keontae George, has there been a backcourt player play for the Jazz this much confidence since Darren Williams?
Nope.
Simple
he's
as that.
Great right now.
Yeah, he really is.
I mean, he's really great right now. It's cool. It's a franchise game changer, frankly. I think it's probably being underplayed how important it is.
Not in my mind.
Then, I would expect nothing less from Picasso. So
I want his autograph.
Back to the Guggenheim.
Thank you for catching the reference there. You can tell.
Well, we have the Goo Goo Dolls as the band of the day, so that kind of goes in with Guggenheim.
Nice. And you can let DJ at the commercial break. You can let PK know who Pablo Picasso played for. Okay.
Okay.
He's Coach Arcel, isn't he?
Yeah, there you go. So I think, yes on Keontae. Like I don't know what else to say. Like it's a massively huge deal for us that he's a bona fide NBA player, possibly top 10 guard, point guard, lead guard in the NBA right now. Like he's still got a ways to go. He's shooting 33% from 3, but that seems to be upticking. His rim finishing is elite. He's going to the free throw line 8 times a game. It's pretty fabulous.
So you think they'll keep the mentality, I haven't arrived? Every player as they improve, if they think they have arrived, I start to get nervous. Even if they have arrived, they need to lie to themselves. Jordan lied to himself, you can lie to yourself. How much confidence do you have in that? Because it is something when you look up and you start seeing your scoring average move over 20 points a game. You start to see yourself among league leaders. And we all know there are players who score 20 points a game, but it doesn't lead to enough winning.
So I think there's two. I mean, I think you're touching on probably the next step in his development, right? How do you? But here's what I thought was so great last night, and he's done this a few times this year. Is he let that? He wasn't great all night, right? And by the end of the night, he's got 29. He's kind of he's not forcing the game like with this urgency of, oh dear God, what's going wrong? There's been plenty of nights where he doesn't have great quarters, and then he is able to make the next steps to kind of work through the game, and by the end of the night, he's got a full box score. And I think that understanding might be the most important thing he's picked up here recently. The other step is what you're talking about. It's like, okay, well, now you're established, and there's an expectation to you every night, and how do you deal with that? And I think that'll be interesting to watch. This has all been pretty fascinating. He was not very good last year. Like, there was a real – like, if you'd asked me at the end of last year if I thought Keontae George was going to be a bona fide NBA player, I would have wavered. It's not that – I actually would have said yes, but I wouldn't have said it with a great deal of zest. I thought he just had – we'd seen the skills. We'd seen pieces. There were things in there that made you believe – but, boy, you were taking a leap if you were really believing, if you were being honest about it. You were projecting something you hadn't seen yet. And so to see him make this stride right now, it's pretty great. Like, this is what these are the rebuilding victories that you go through. And to watch him do it right now is pretty interesting to watch. And it's interesting to me at the exact same time Walker did it, right? It's between year 2 and year 3. The other one, by the way, if you go back and look at that draft class, Keontae is going to turn out to be a pretty big win in that draft class.
Agreed. Yeah, I think he already is.
I think you need to take a bow, David, because you said Keontae has 3 doors. Which one is he going to walk through? And there's a door everyone was rooting for, but you're not alone. Nobody really knew which one he'd walk through.
So has he walked through them now? So those doors are down?
He's on the way
so it's 3 doors
he's
down?
He's on the way to be. Nice.
Put that one in the Guggenheim.
Up your Guggenheim.
Oh, it's not, you say I lay it on thick when I come on, but there might be truthful, just pure appreciation to what I get to experience every day when I come on this show.
I think the great thing about George is he's already proven it. He proved it the other night because I used the word confidence that bad games, bad quarters, bad possessions, they don't matter anymore. We saw it. He played the worst game he's going to play all season the other night, and then he comes right back out and is right back to where he was. So that's why I use the word specifically with confidence to borderline cockiness now, which I want. I want all my players to be extremely confident to the point of cockiness. I'd rather have to rein them in rather than try to pump them up. His body language and everything about him, and it's not over the top. It's not, at least for me, just watching it on television, it doesn't look like it's, oh, look at me. No, it's look at me. Yeah, what are you looking at me for? What, you didn't think I could do this? Of course I can do this. And that's where the cockiness comes in, and that's why they've got something with him, and I believe they have a cornerstone.
I think there were a bunch of times over the last 2 years where he would do things where, honestly, my reaction was like, oh, stop. Don't celebrate. You're not there.
Right.
Or the celebration was enough that he didn't get back defensively on the other side. Or the celebration was, just in a way that bothered at least my sensibility of what we were supposed to be seeing. You haven't seen that this year at all. Like, you have not seen that at all.
Nope.
And I think the other one is how much his teammates respect him. I mean, he clearly worked so hard this offseason that he just garnered a ton of respect from everybody. His coach is Chris Jones, who's a really neat, interesting guy who's young. He played at the University of Pittsburgh under Jamie Dixon. And then instead of doing what everyone else did, which was to go pro and play in Europe or something, he was like, you know what, actually, I want to be a coach. And so he broke in to the Jazz film room. Vince LaGarza was the head of the hiring of that film room at the time, and Chris Jones just kind of sent a blind application out to their film room and got accepted into that staff at 22 years old. So he's now been an NBA coach for 7 years around some of the better coaches in the league as a, and is now working with Will and has been the one working with Keontae. I mean, he and Keontae are close. When Keontae went to Finland and Paris last summer or summer before last, it was Chris Jones that went with him. Keontae doesn't have a lot of people in his life that are going on that with him. And so Chris Jones is the one who went with him. And Ron Boone was talking to Chris Jones the other day and about their training, what they did this year. And what Chris told him is that they did every single workout for the entire off season as a full court drill. Every drill was a full court drill. So conditioning was as much as anything what they worked on this year with Keontae to unleash him.
So as much as the game changes, the game stays the same, because you are just channeling Jerry Sloan right there. When you talk about conditioning is the most important thing, build everything around conditioning. I just hear Jerry Sloan just screaming across the ages.
Yeah, I mean, hey, if you can have an edge, any edge you can find, but if you're deficient, you see guys, right? You get tired and they pull for, it's a lot easier to pull, right? For three or a long jumper, or you don't quite finish. Like, you see tired all the time.
I'm going to go ahead and say that Keontae George is done playing in the Summer League.
I think you're probably right. I don't think he'll play for the Stars this year either.
Oh, he'll play for the Stars. They're called the All-Stars.
Oh, look at you, PK. Look at you. Gosh, you are sharp today. What is going on? What do you got? Big plans this weekend? Heading to St. George? Heading down to Arizona? Get a little golfing? Get out of the snow? What are you fired up about?
Going to Dallas, actually.
Okay.
It's expansion to the Guggenheim. There's a whole wall to fill. There's an entire new wall to fill. He's just working on it, one painting after another.
You are on point today, Patrick Kinahan.
I am going to Dallas, and I'm going to watch the biggest upset we've ever seen. Who shot the Red Raiders?
Do they have a chance?
I really like George.
When BYU played Texas Tech last time, it was pretty one-sided, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Who
Any
else?
Personnel changes that make you think it won't be one-sided?
Maybe some better health for BYU. But they did make a ton of mistakes. Stuff that they traditionally and normally don't do.
Don't drop the punt in a scoreless game and give them a short field, and even though the defense holds, they take the lead. That's not them being really good. They're really good. They're number 3 in scoring offense. They're number 3 in scoring defense in the entire country. They're really good. So don't give them the ball at the 30-yard line because you drop it, for starters.
All right. I will try to keep an eye on it after I take my first turns of the year tomorrow. Is it tomorrow? When is it?
Yeah, it's tomorrow at 10 a.m.
Oh, all right. Oh, then I'll miss it for the start because I'll be making my first turns of the year tomorrow.
Do you think that time in the G League can rebuild a player's confidence at the NBA level? Taylor Hendricks looked like when he came back, he wanted to take the ball to the hoop, which is a good instinct. He didn't have a problem beating his guy. He had a problem finishing once he got there, but he didn't have a problem beating his guy. So I thought there was a level of aggression that was good. I don't know what to attribute that to. I wonder if you do.
I mean, I think both. I would suspect that between now, I might be overstating this, but between now and All-Star break, I would guess that Cody Williams and Taylor Hendricks' priority is G League minutes. And if you can get them 30-plus minutes every time you can, you should down there. For different reasons, but the same reasons. I mean, one, regaining confidence. Taylor's just got to be working with his body to get to believe in his body and get it all back together. But then also, frankly, neither Taylor nor Cody have shown all the skills they need to show as an NBA player yet. And so they need a place to develop them. And it's hard. You can't really work on skills in 8 or 9 minutes in the middle of an NBA game. It's way too hard. And so I think the Stars play the remix here coming up twice, and then they play the Valley Suns, and I think those are games that I would suspect that you see Cody and Taylor going down there, and I would suspect you see them playing 30-plus minutes a night in G League games with the prior. And I would even obviously we can't have where you don't guys don't get on the floor. Like, if you need their minutes in the NBA, you need to have them there. That's still your priority. But I would generally guess that if there's a choice of us having Kyle Anderson play 12 NBA minutes or Taylor Hendricks playing 12 NBA minutes, Taylor Hendricks should play 34 G League minutes instead.
For how long?
Till All-Star break.
Okay.
That's probably too long, but maybe not.
At this point, I'm looking for any signs of positivity out of him. Anything. Give me something. It feels like it's his second year, and the third-year jump for him is going to have to come next year because he just lost a year.
Right. I just don't think you should, and not you as one, I don't think any of us should be putting any expectations on Taylor until next year, maybe, or maybe you want to see something by March. Like, basically, let's just go on the simplest terms. This is oversimplistic, but to some extent, what happened with Taylor Hendricks is what happened to Gordon Hayward and Paul George, right?
Yeah.
There's one major difference. Gordon Hayward and Paul George were all-stars at that point of their career. They had something to fall back on. Taylor had played 40 games of his NBA career, most of them kind of in that whatever funny season of March and April. And, like, if we're just perfectly honest, we don't know if he's any good. And he doesn't know if he's any good.
Agreed. Yeah. That's why I wonder when, you talked about Kessler and George, how they turned it on in the third season. Correct me if I'm wrong, but neither of them did any G League time. So I know G League time is better than no time, but is it realistic time in terms of, well, then when he gets to the NBA level, he can make a jump. If he gets to the NBA level after G League time, is it still starting over in a sense? See what I'm saying there?
Yeah, I mean, I think for Taylor, you're doing something. Taylor, the body's got to come back, right? Like, he's got to figure out that his body works again. He's got to just play. I mean, I don't know. I haven't talked to our medical team on this. This one just seems like intuitively obvious. Like, he started playing and then he had a hamstring problem, right? Like, his body's got to re-figure out how to work. It broke.
Yeah.
And is his gait completely the same? Is everything the same? Yeah, the strength and conditioning staff is working every minute of every day to try to see what they can do and make sure that that's the case. But I don't necessarily – you got to see him play. So I think on Taylor, playing 30 minutes and then coming back and playing 30 minutes and then coming back and playing 30 minutes is as much about trying to get your body right.
Sure.
Cody and then Cody and Taylor, it's also skill development, right? Like – figuring out, like, okay, drive to the basket, and how am I doing things, and what are those are the things I think matter.
It reminds me a little bit of missionaries when they come back. You often see them come back, have a little bit of a flurry, and then get hurt, get a soft tissue issue or whatnot. And you talk to those guys, and you see that they're because they've been away in terms of activity at the highest level that you need for 2 years, obviously. And then they come back, and invariably something goes a little astray that sets them back. And then they got to work through that to get back. And it literally just takes time, and there's no other way around it.
And I haven't looked at, probably should, I haven't looked at Gordon Hayward or Paul George to kind of look at what they did, because I feel like it's, on one level, I've consciously not looked at it because I think it's an unfair comparison because of what we just talked about, but we probably could find something out about, did they both play 12 games and then they sit down for a little while? Or, I'll bet you we could learn something in regards to just what that process was trying to come back from a catastrophic lower leg injury.
David, we appreciate it as always. We'll free up a little time for you to go to the Guggenheim. I would prefer to walk the High Line. I think that's awesome. Maybe the weather's not good enough. I don't know. But
no, the weather's great. It's been fabulous. I think I'm going down to the West Village in Soho. But I need to prep back to back. I got to do some work on the next year, or have Claude do a lot of work for me.
We will hear you tonight on the call. Thank you, David.
That was like a modern joke, and neither of you reacted.
No, Yock said something to us. I didn't hear all of it, honestly.
I said, or have Claude do a lot of work for me.
Oh, nice. There you go. All right, bravo.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you. David Locke, radio voice of the Utah Jazz. Tim Brando's coming up talking Big 12 title game at the top of the hour. Stay with us.
Since the game went final in Lubbock. Touchdown! Parker Kingston! The Cougars have wanted a rematch with the Red Raiders. Now they've got it, with a guaranteed spot in the college football playoff on the line. Listen all week long for the best coverage of BYU in the Big 12 title game, with exclusive interviews and analysis you won't get anywhere else. Then, on Saturday, catch a special Big 12 title game edition of College Football Game Day beginning at 8 a.m. with a post-game show immediately following the game. Exclusive Big 12 title game coverage on The Zone is presented by JCW's, The Burger Boys, quality and a lot of it. This is 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Hercules First Federal Credit Union Salt Lake County High School Player of the Week Award honors the top boys and girls players across the county. Our winners this week, Miley Adam from Cottonwood High and Sophie Nielsen from Brighton High. Adam tallied 21 points, 15 boards, a win over Riverton, had 15 more points and a win over Brighton. Nielsen has opened the season averaging almost 22 points and 14 rebounds per game through Brighton's first 4 contests. The Salt Lake County Players of the Week, proudly presented by Hercules First Federal Credit Union. At Hercules, they're celebrating the everyday victories. Hercules First Federal Credit Union, growing stronger together.
Go Bengals.
You have so many schools. You have almost as many high schools as you have Major League Baseball teams.
If you sent kids to multiple high schools and your wife worked at one, can't you claim them? Are they not legitimate?
Is that how you got? How many? Well, I don't know how many do you have. 3? Okay. I was trying to think about
all legit.
Okay.
All legit, buddy boy.
Brighton, Jordan, Corner Canyon.
It's all in the area.
All in the same district. I'll give you that. That's geographically very
Coach some
compact.
baseball for Juan Diego.
Claim them. That's 4.
Add JD to the mix here.
Oh, I got some JD gear.
But Alta and Hillcrest, you're out. No Cottonwood.
No, I don't hate them like there's a couple other schools that I passionately hate.
Oh, yeah? Now everybody wants to know who they are.
Hold on, what?
Do you remember that one time?
I do. I was about to tell Yak, you wouldn't believe this. Back in the early days.
I got lit up by the principal at Brighton.
Yep. Yes.
Over what?
I don't even remember.
A comment you made on the air.
Net letter of just hammering me. I said,
I think you were actually.
I'm a nice person.
I think you actually said something and cracked on Brighton Little League football.
I did, and she took it.
And took it as a high school thing.
Which it wasn't.
It wasn't.
No. It's right up there with him bashing Air Supply, and then Johnny Lightfoot sending me an email, how dare I bash Air Supply, and I never said a word about Air Supply.
It's all true. It's all me. I confess. PK did it. It's totally on me.
My music is like whatever. If I
do
don't
you
like it,
remember?
just turn the channel.
I do remember. I had some nasty crack to make about 80s, what do they call that? Yacht rock.
Yeah. Whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
We got to get an NFL picks, though.
Yeah, NFL picks, Jock. Jake Hatch, NFL picks. There are a couple games out there that absolutely scream, pick me, pick me, pick me.
Well, can you pick them?
And the answer to that is it depends on the game. So the Rams game, when I was looking at them, I thought, oh, that's perfect. The Rams are really good. They're on the road at the Cardinals. They were 3-9. And then I realized all of us picked the Rams, so that one's off the board. The Broncos at the Raiders, and I thought, that is an obvious 10-2 Denver over 2-10, the 2-10 Raiders. Oh, wait a minute. I already picked the Broncos, and I looked. Okay. I picked them to beat the Raiders the first time.
We got to go, Lo.
Take it if you want. That one's there for you. I don't think you took Denver.
Have I picked Tampa Bay? I need to keep a list.
You have
of
not.
mine.
You have not taken
All right, I'll
Tampa
go with Tampa
yet.
Bay.
That's who I was going to go with, so I will flip and I will take the Broncos. I have not taken Denver yet.
And I took Broncos last week.
Yeah.
And they needed a 2-point pass deflection to win. In OT, no less. That was close. So why don't you pick Cincinnati over Buffalo?
Hold on, I got it written down here.
It's only 5.5.
I got Tampa Bay over New Orleans.
So you're also going Tampa Bay. All right.
Yeah, I've doped them out for the rest of the year.
There we go.
I don't want to have to think. There you go. Bills over Bengals. That'd be super dangerous. But I've already taken the Bills, so it doesn't matter.
Oh, no. Yeah, you're not going to do that.
No. DJ PK's 97.5. Coming up next, it's Tim Brando right here on the KSL Sports Zone.